further ado, we have AFC West divisional predictions. Let's go.
All right, so we always start at the bottom. If you're new to here, we start in the fourth place position and work our way up. At number 4, let's go with the Raiders. 9-8 feels right to me. I think it's going to be the best fourth place team of all time. I really mean it. Go find me another fourth place team who's had a top 10 quarterback in the league, a top 3 to 5 wide receiver, Devonta Adams, a pass rush that's probably going to be top 5 to 10. Now they added Chandler Jones. But here's what worries me. The coaching staff's unproven. The last time McDaniels was the head coach, didn't go well. He thought Tebow was the future of the league. How'd that work out, right? Anyone whose judgment is that, I question. It was not good. The first time as a head coach, there was a lot of drama, a lot of controversy, not a lot of good football decisions. And historically, do we really trust the Raiders? You know what I mean?
Not 100%.
Right. The last 25 years, they've been one of the worst franchises in football, plain and simple. And unfortunately for Derek Carr, who I'm a huge fan of, when Russell Wilson's healthy, he's the 4th best quarterback in that division.
Yeah.
And even when Russ isn't healthy, well, even best aside, right? Stats, best, most winning just talent-wise, he's the 4th best quarterback, and it's not really that close.
No.
I think what sets him apart is his leadership, his grit, his ability to come back and win. All super important. But if we're looking at pure talent, he's the 4th best quarterback in the division. If Russ is healthy, he might be the 4th most winning quarterback in the division.
Yeah.
It's not good.
No, it isn't. The thing with him that worries me is just I feel like he might get feel like he's sinking to the bottom, even though in any other division, that's a top 1 or 2 quarterback. No matter how you cut it.
Yeah.
Does he want to sit in a division? And this is obviously a prediction for a couple years out and something that we had and that we missed on in the past. But does he want to sit in a division where he's going to be the 4th best for the foreseeable future? I mean, do you see him with a higher ceiling than Mahomes and Herbert?
We went through the divisions, and we said he'd be the best quarterback in about 2 or 3 divisions, and he'd be the 2nd best in the rest of them. So outside of this one. But
no.
Either way, it's not really a knock on the Raiders just as much as it is the rest of the division is that good.
Yes.
Number 3, going to kind of ruffle some feathers here, the Kansas City Chiefs. Look, I think they'll be 12-5, maybe 11-6, right? I think they're going to take a mini step back. Still probably going to make the wild card, right? I think it's them and the team we have right above them that are probably going to be 2 of the 3 wild card teams. Depending on how the rest of the AFC shakes out, could we get the first 4th place team as a wild card as well? I mean, you never know, but I think the Chiefs will make a wild card game. Losing Tyreek Hill is going to be tough, though. And I think they're not going to get as many free, open touchdowns, right? They're not going to be able to come back in 13 seconds due to Tyreek's, unbelievable speed. It's going to be more difficult and a little choppier on the offense. And I think for that reason, that lands them in 3rd.
No, I don't think the Chiefs are going to be
bad by any means.
Bad at all this year. But I think...
Slight step back.
I think that, yes, the Chiefs are going to take a step back, but they're not going to be utterly horrendous. They're still going to be able to... I mean, Patrick Mahomes is the type of quarterback that's going to be able to elevate a number 5 receiver and make him look like a number 3 guy. That's what Patrick Mahomes does. I mean, he's an elite arm talent, and you could bring, a rookie wide receiver out, I feel like, and with him throwing the ball, he's going to look good. He's going to make him look really good. So right. I don't think losing a weapon like Tyreek Hill is going to be earth-shattering for the Chiefs, but I don't think it's exactly going to be great. Like you said, there's a lot of free touchdowns where he goes over the top, where it's just gimme plays.
Like the meme where it's like, F it, Tyreek's down there somewhere.
Right. That's
not necessarily going to be valid
You don't have your safety valve anymore. He was the biggest safety valve to bail out Mahomes whenever he was in trouble.
I would say maybe outside of Kelsey, but the Super Bowl when they were in trouble and they needed a big play, it was 3rd and 18 or something like that, and they dialed one up to Tyreek, right? That was when he's backpedaling and just chucks it.
Yeah,
and Tyreek makes a play on the ball. I mean, that just doesn't happen.
And there's drives where he'll just go Tyreek, 4 or 5 plays in a row, end zone.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said, by if they lose 5 or 6 games, I think they're all going to be coin flip 1 possession games. So they could end up being 9-8 because they lose a bunch of those close games, or they could end up being 14-3 because they win a bunch of those close games. It just depends on how they play in the 4th quarter.
Yeah.
Mostly good. I think they'll go more 50-50 on those games. All right, number 2, let's go with the Broncos. Also at 12-5. So we have them tied, but we have the Broncos at a 4-2 divisional record, while Casey's a 3-3. I think they split with every team. So a slight edge to Denver. I think Russ returns to MVP form. I mean, really, I think he does. I think the weapons are solid. Defensive line is stacked. The secondary's fast, getting better. They have 2 good backs. A young offensive coach who, by all accounts, I think he's going to be super creative. Finally going to, quote, let Russ cook like they've been saying for years. I really think Russ could be comeback player of the year. I see it. If he's not MVP, who he's not my pick for MVP, but if he's not going to be MVP, he'll be probably comeback player of the year.
Russ finally has the pieces around him to help him out and aid him a little bit. He didn't have any talent around him in Seattle, and I think a lot of people forget about that when they are judging Russ on the past 4 to 5 years previous. He hasn't had anything going for him. Pete Carroll has kept him on such a tight leash through the first half of the game, and then when everything starts going bad, he gives Russ like, hey man, here's the keys, by the way. It's the third quarter. We don't have any timeouts left. Go win us a game.
Yeah, go save us. Right.
So I think having more of a functional team around him in Denver is going to be great for him.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Number 1, let's go with the Chargers, 13-4. I am all aboard the hype train for LA. I think Justin Herbert's my pick for MVP. I mean, seriously. Not to mention, I love what they've done by adding Khalil Mack and J.C. Jackson. With Justin Herbert and that offense, you're gonna have a lead in they play 17 games now. In 13 of 17 games, you gotta protect it.
Yeah.
So what do we need? If you're leading in a game, what's the other team gonna do? Throw the football. How do you stop guys from throwing the football all over you? You get a pass rush and you get an elite corner. J.C. Jackson, Khalil Mack, welcome to the squad. I think they have 2 to 3 good backs, a decent line, great weapons, a solid defense, and Herbert is my pick for MVP, the best player in football, easily.
And like you said before we started recording here, when's the last time Khalil Mack had a Joey Bosa that he's going with?
Yeah.
When has that been a pair? Let me answer that. Never. So this is going to be so interesting to watch.
Have we heard much of Bud Dupree since he left T.J. Watt? No, thank you. Because they worked really, really well together, right? There's a reason that Alex Highsmith was able to step in and be just as good for the Steelers, right?
Yeah.
Same idea. When you're next to greatness, it's much easier to
elevates
be
you.
great. Because you don't... Look, you can't double Khalil Mack anymore.
No. Because
then you have Joey Bosa on the other side.
Unprotected coming through the other way.
So you're gonna have to keep in 6 guys in protection if you want to help both of the tackles on those guys. Which means you have nobody out. You have less people out in coverage. And oh, by the way, you have J.C. Jackson on the back.
Which I'm gonna say it right now. I think
you have less people out in routes. I'm sorry, and you have J.C. Jackson in coverage.
I think this is going to be the best pass rush, best defensive line in the NFL. I think
it's going to be
not
close.
Best defensive line, but I'm going to say most sacks and most disruptions in the NFL from this line.
That's a good prediction.
I like that.
I mean, I kind of agree.
Yeah.
They have our defensive player of the year for this division, so we might as well just transition right into that.